Having access to clean water is without a doubt one of the most important aspects of sustaining life. We need water for cooking, hydration, and to keep ourselves clean. Even in the modern world, almost 3.5 million people die annually due to contaminated water. And that's why everyone needs to have a robust water plan in place. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Waterbob. Hopefully this video can help you decide if it's right for you. The Waterbob is a disposable liner that's designed to transform your bathtub into a place you can safely store drinking water during emergencies. The Waterbob includes a fill neck for easy filling and a hand pump to extract the water. It has a total capacity of 100 gallons. However, it's important to note that the standard bathtub is only about 60 gallons. So the first step is laying the Waterbob out in the tub, making sure the two white caps are near the faucet. Once that's done, you can connect the fill sleeve to the threads closest to the faucet. As I mentioned earlier, I use zip ties to hold the sleeve on. Once the sleeve is secured, you can turn the water on very slowly. I started having some issues once the Waterbob got about half full. Fill neck started to kink over on itself. It's really thin plastic and there's just no structure to it, so it's constantly trying to collapse on itself. When the Waterbob got about 80% full, the fill neck kinked and the pressure built up, and it blew the fill neck off the faucet. For the remainder of the fill, I had to hold the neck in place and try and prevent the neck from kinking. It ended up being pretty frustrating. It took about a half hour to fill the Waterbob, all in all, and I had to babysit it the whole time. It definitely isn't something you can walk away from while it's filling. So once the Waterbob is full, you can remove the fill sleeve and put the cap back on. Then you can remove the cap furthest from the faucet and install the siphon pump. The siphon is really low quality. It took a lot of messing around with it to get it to work right. I don't think the vent cap was sealing properly, so it took like 10 minutes to get it to work. So the siphon is the only way to get water out of the Waterbob, but it has a very slow flow rate, so I ended up just cutting a hole in the bottom of it. It would have taken hours and hours to siphon the water out. Okay, so getting into the pros and cons. For me, the biggest pro was the space saving that this thing can offer you. Ultimately, storing water does take up a ton of space, and there are people out there that don't have a lot of space to store 100 gallons of water. Pretty much anybody can make space to store this. The second pro was the large capacity. Having the ability to store 100 gallons of water is super handy, even if you already have existing water storage. Now, as far as cons go, I think the biggest con is that it's single use. I suppose technically you could try and reuse this. It's really designed to be used once and thrown away. There's no way to dry it out and repack it. Second biggest con is that the fill sleeve and the siphon were both pretty low quality. The bladder itself was thick and it felt fairly heavy duty, but the fill sleeve and the siphon were both pretty low quality. I was expecting better for the price point. So I've got mixed feelings about the Waterbob. I really loved the idea of it, but after using it, there's definitely room for improvements as far as the quality of it goes. With that being said, I still think that there are some situations where it makes sense to buy one of these. Going back to the biggest pro, this thing saves a ton of space. If you don't have the space to have more permanent water storage on hand, like one of these two, it's probably worth having one around. If you live in a small apartment or maybe a smaller mobile home, I'd say it's a decent option for water storage. Now, if you do have room for more permanent storage, I'd take a look at the Aquatainer or the Aqua Brick. They definitely give you a lot more flexibility and they'll last a lifetime. Ultimately, I think the Waterbob can be a decent addition to your water storage plan. I wouldn't make it the backbone or the foundation of it. Hopefully this video helps some people out. I'll see you later.